It's gonna happen. Just you watch.
Like the morning sun inviting the dawn to break. Beautiful. Like the joy that...
Whew. Whew. Okay. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hi. Hi. Today is Thursday, October 25th. It is day 4 of the 5-week challenge. I just got back from the gym. Feeling good about that. I actually did much better than I thought I was going to do. And mainly because I was not going to go. I dressed in my gym clothes this morning. I was wearing this exact outfit. So I wore my sneakers and I wore my gym clothes all day long. I went to my first job. Then I went to my second job for a second. I just had to do a mail check for her. And I met up with Ren afterward for lunch. And I had this amazing salad. It was so delicious. I also had some amazing hummus. Like, really, really good hummus, and I took a picture of that so you guys can see that too. After we ate, he was like, okay, so I have to go home. I have to grab some stuff for studio. Then I have to go back down to studio, and he said, do you want to walk with me home? And I said, no, actually, I'm just going to go straight to the gym. And then I thought about it for a second, and I shouldn't have thought about it. I should have just gone my separate way, parted from him at that moment, and just gone to the gym. But my reasoning was I just ate. I just had a whole bunch of hummus and pita, and I just had a huge salad. If I go to the gym right now, I will probably upset my stomach. It needs to digest for a little while. So I came home, and Ren just quickly grabbed the stuff that he needed and left, and I got on YouTube. And I watched probably 12 to 15 makeup haul, makeup tutorial videos. Like, I was just so immersed in... I still have one up on my screen right now that I just had to like pause to go to the gym because I got a message from Julia on Facebook, and she's like, how's your day going? And I'm like, oh, it's going good. I just don't want to go to the gym right now. I'm like, I know I need to. I need to get my butt off this couch and go. And she's like, go. Just go. I'm like, how was your day? Like, trying to procrastinate. She's like, go! So, thank you for that. Seriously, thank you, Julia, for that, because I would have never gotten off the couch. I would have never put my sneakers on. I would have never walked out the door. I don't want to go. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm just gonna go. I'm just gonna go. Oh, I just really don't want to go. Okay. I'm just gonna fucking go. I was having a lot of trouble. I was having a lot of trouble finding the motivation to go, and obviously I sat on the couch for about 4.5 hours watching makeup tutorial and makeup haul videos, and which is so fun. It was so great. I had such a good time watching them, and I'm going to continue watching them after I make this video. Putting my own needs on the back burner to watch 5 hours of YouTube videos isn't going to make my life fulfilled. I'm not going to feel anything by watching 5 hours of makeup tutorials on YouTube, although I love them very much. I had a great workout, and here's a picture from my workout today. So rather than reading my normal meditation for food for thought today, I thought that I would read a story for you from Eating in the Light of the Moon. Okay, so this is from the Addiction to Eating chapter in Eating in the Light of the Moon. To recover from disordered eating, we must be willing to go beyond the food itself to discover the presence of the real hunger that underlies the urge to eat compulsively. With disordered eating behavior, our true needs and innermost desires are hidden behind urges that only symbolize those real needs and desires. When we are engaged in addictive eating, that is the time to look for what the real hunger is, because that is the moment in which it gets presented to us in its symbolic form. Someone who is addicted to eating is actually starving on an emotional and spiritual level. Her longing for food is a longing for emotional and spiritual nourishment. No matter how much ice cream she eats, or how many cookies she consumes, or muffins she devours, she cannot fulfill this longing because she is filling her stomach, not her heart or her spirit. It's that crack. For a woman to recover from disordered eating, she must recognize that she is starving. She needs to understand that the food she requires is not material food. She must be able to name her hunger and recognize its symbolic nature in order to nourish herself. This old folk tale is about a greater hunger a long, long time ago in Africa. A drought had left the land dry and fallow, and no food could easily be found for the animals. One day, all the animals except the lion decided to leave the jungle to scour the landscape in search of something to eat. The lion, who was king of the jungle, chose to remain behind and rule over his kingdom. And so the elephant, the giraffe, the rabbit, the tortoise, the monkey, the zebra, and the gazelle set out together to scour the landscape for food to eat. They crossed a great river, and walked across the flat land for many days, not knowing where their journey would take them. After some time they approached the edge of a plain. The animals began to make out a figure of what appeared to be a tall tree, the only one that stood for miles around. As their journey drew them closer to this tree, they saw that it was laden with the most luscious fruit they'd ever seen. Fruit as red as pomegranates, as orange as mangoes, as yellow as bananas, as purple as plums, and as fragrant as all the fruits in the world. For all its beauty and promise, the tree left the animals crying in frustration and despair. For it was so tall and its branches were so high off the ground that even the neck of the giraffe was not long enough to reach the bottommost fruit. The trunk of the tree was so smooth that even the most agile monkey could not climb it. The famished animals collapsed on the ground beneath the tree. "What are we going to do?" The old tortoise spoke. "My great-great-grandmother once told me about a tree such as this one, with beautiful, delicious fruit. But only those who knew the name of the tree could reach the fruit." "How do we find the name of the tree?" the animals asked. The old tortoise answered, "The lion knows the name. Someone must travel back to the jungle to ask him." It was decided that the gazelle, who was the fastest runner of all, should go. The gazelle, proud of his swiftness, raced to the jungle and to the place near the river that the lion called home. "What do you want?" questioned the lion when the gazelle arrived. "Great king," said the gazelle, "all the animals are so very hungry. We have been searching for days for something to eat. We have found the most beautiful tree, filled with wondrous, colorful fruit. But until we find the name of the tree, the fruit will remain out of our reach, and all the animals will continue to starve." The lion thought quietly for a moment and then said, "I will tell you what you need to know. I do not wish to see the animals of my kingdom suffer any more, but I will only tell you once, for I do not wish to repeat myself, or to tell anyone else this special name. You must listen carefully and remember. The name of the tree is Ungalli." "Ungalli," said the gazelle, and thanked the lion, and ran through the jungle, and then back across the flat land, thinking about how clever the other animals were to send an animal as swift as he was. They would be so grateful when he returned with the name of the tree. Lost in his thoughts, he did not see the rabbit hole that was near to where the animals lay waiting. He stepped in the hole and flipped head over hoof through the air until he landed with a thud at the foot of the tree. The animals gathered around him. "What's the name of the tree?" they shouted with great hope and expectation. But the gazelle just stared at the animals with a dazed look in his eyes. "What's the name of the tree?" the animals cried desperately. "I can't remember," he uttered. I just can't remember." The animals moaned. "Ugh, we have no choice. We'll just have to send someone else. Someone who will remember no matter what." It was decided that the elephant should go, since it was well known that she did not forget anything. And so the elephant strode off across the flat, empty plain, feeling quite proud of her excellent memory. When the elephant arrived at the place near the river where the Lion King lived, the lion growled, "What do you want?" "O King," said the elephant, "the animals are all so hungry, and I know," the lion said impatiently. "I will tell you the name of the tree with the wonderful fruit, but don't you forget, because I will absolutely not tell anyone else. The name of the tree is Ungalli." "I will not forget," the elephant said with arrogance. "I never forget anything." She made her way out of the jungle and across the plain, thinking to herself, "How could I forget? I can remember the names of all the trees in this jungle." And she began to name them. Quite impressed with her memory, she began naming all the trees in Africa, and then began to recall all the trees in the whole world. Lost in her thoughts, she carelessly stepped in the same hole in the ground that had spoiled the gazelle's journey just the day before. But unlike the gazelle, the elephant's foot was so big and fit so tightly into the hole that she could not easily get it out. The elephant pulled and tugged, but her foot would not budge. Those animals who were not too weak from hunger ran towards her, shouting, "What's the name of the tree?" Angrily she pulled and tugged at her foot again and again until at last she was free from the hole. "What is the name of the tree?" "I can't remember," she said crossly as she rubbed her sore foot. "And I don't care." The animals were too tired and too hungry to complain. Some of them began to cry. They didn't know what to do. Then a very young tortoise said, "I will go and find the name of the tree." "You are too young, too small, and too slow," replied the animals. "Yes," said the very young tortoise, "but my great-great-great-grandmother was the one who knew about the tree, and she taught me how to remember." Without waiting for the animals to respond, the little tortoise headed out slowly across the great plain. Step by step she made her way to the place near the river in the jungle where the Lion King lived. The lion was not pleased at all to see the tortoise, and roared, "If you have come for the name of the tree, forget it. I've told it twice before. I warned the gazelle and the elephant that I would not tell anyone else that the name of the tree is Ungalli, so I will not tell you." The young tortoise politely thanked the lion for his time, and she walked out of the jungle and repeated it to herself over and over. "Ungalli, Ungalli, the name of the tree is Ungalli." She crossed the great plain, saying over and over, "Ungalli, Ungalli, the name of the tree is Ungalli. Ungalli, Ungalli, the name of the tree is Ungalli." Even when feeling tired and thirsty, the young tortoise never stopped saying, "Ungalli, the name of the tree is Ungalli," because great-great-great-grandmother had said this is what one should do to remember. Falling to the bottom of the same hole that had tripped the gazelle and had trapped the elephant, the young tortoise just climbed out saying, "Ungalli, Ungalli, the name of the tree is Ungalli." None of the other animals noticed as the young tortoise approached them. They were lying under the tree, preoccupied with their great misfortune, when she walked straight up to them and announced in a loud voice, "Ungalli! The name of the tree is Ungalli!" The startled animals looked up. They saw the branches of the tree bend down so low that they could reach the wonderful fruit that was as red as pomegranates, as yellow as bananas, as orange as mangoes, as purple as plums, and as fragrant as all the fruits in the world. The animals ate until their bellies were full. With great joy and merriment they lifted the very young tortoise high up in the air. They paraded around the tree, singing and chanting over and over, "Ungalli, Ungalli, the name of the tree is Ungalli," because they did not want to forget. And they never did. Like the animals in this story, the woman who seeks to end her inner famine needs to find the name of her hunger, for it is only by naming her hunger that she can be fed. The tree in the magical story is a mythical tree. It has a fruit no one has ever seen. So it is that tree of life that can provide nourishment to the woman who is emotionally and spiritually famished. The nourishment she seeks comes from no food she has ever seen, for its nourishment is with a capital N. To learn the name of her hunger, she must journey back into her past, where she came from, cross the great empty plains of her life, travel deep into the jungle of her mind, find the place where the river of feelings, where her innermost authority rules, and ask, what is the name of my hunger? But it is not enough to simply learn the name of one's hunger. In order to be fed, a woman must remember the name of her hunger. She must keep it in the forefront of her mind, moment to moment, as she makes her way toward recovery from disordered eating. She must remember what it is she truly is hungry for every time she slips and stumbles into addictive patterns and reaches for food that cannot feed her real hunger. Every time she falls into the addictive trap of using food to soothe her aching heart or broken spirit, she must remind herself, this is not what I really want. What I really want is love. What I crave is attention and acceptance. What I long for is creative expression. What I yearn for is a spiritual connection. When a woman is steadfast in reminding herself over and over what she is hungry for, when she patiently puts one foot in front of the other, keeping her awareness of her hunger in her consciousness, she will not forget. And because she does not forget, she will be able to receive true nourishment with a capital N that life has to offer.